Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Pratik, a dentist and specialty doctor. And in this video, we're going to be looking at how you can smash your personal statement to give you the best chance in your dentistry application. If you want to see more educational content similar to this, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. Now, I applied to 4 universities and I got 4 interviews. I applied to Sheffield, Leeds, King's and Barts. So I like to think that my personal statement was relatively good. Now, what is a personal statement? A personal statement is a summary of you and why you want to do dentistry. It's your opportunity to almost sell yourself and stand out from other candidates who may be applying. It's usually about 4,000 characters long or 47 lines, whichever comes first. And in dentistry, you can only have one personal statement for all your application. So all the universities will get the same personal statement, so don't tailor your personal statement to a particular university. Tip number 1, have a clear reason as to why you want to do dentistry. It's a long course and there are lots of candidates applying. So you need to make sure that you have a very obvious reason as to why you want to do the course. Then following on from this, everything you mention in your personal statement should link back to the reason of why you want to do dentistry. So even if you mention that you do a team sport, you need to mention why that becomes relevant to a dental course. So part of the preparation for your personal statement should be to look at some of the qualities that a good dentist needs, because then everything you mention in your personal statement, you can start applying to these qualities. And also, it's a very common interview question, so it's good to have a good think about it now, early on in your application, so that later on in interviews, you have obvious reasons as to why you want to do it. Just make sure you're honest and you're not cliche about anything. Let's move on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is basically making sure you stand out from the crowd. And this is making sure that your personal statement has some little nuggets of information that will make you different from the next candidate. So if you're thinking while you're doing your personal statement, you have that really strange hobby or something slightly different that you do to the average person, don't just discount it thinking it will look odd on your personal statement. It might actually make you stand out a lot more than all the other candidates who have done the Duke of Edinburgh course, for example. Ultimately, as long as you can relate what you're saying to dentistry, then you should include it. It's only going to give you extra points. Everyone will have got the right grades or predicted grades to get in. Most people will have done some team building stuff. Most everyone will have done work experience. So if you've got that odd hobby that will make you stand out and make you memorable, make sure to include it. Ultimately, the university want to know why you should come to that university and what will you bring to the university. Tip number 3 is reflecting on what you've done. So yes, it's fine saying that you've done Duke of Edinburgh or you've done work experience at a dental practice, but you then want to reflect on this and say what you learned from what you did and how, again, that links back to dentistry. Again, as I've said, dentistry is a long course, but reflecting and looking back on what you've done is a lifelong aspect of dentistry, and so demonstrating these skills and qualities early on is really, really important when it comes to your application. Tip number 4 is that you want to show that you're more than just a dentist. Yes, ultimately, you're going for a dental degree, but you want to show you're a well-rounded student, and that's the most common phrase that you'll hear people using when it comes to describing personal statements. Again, you want to be showing what are you going to bring to the university apart from just studying to do dentistry. Everyone will have got the grades, and so you need to see what are you going to bring that's different, whether it's a hobby, an interest, could you start a society, those types of qualities, which again will be looked at interview stage. So some key things to maybe consider with regards to showing you're well-rounded. Dentistry is a stressful course, and a dental career can be quite stressful. So one of the key things is to make sure that you can deal with stress. And so that's something that you can demonstrate quite well. So for example, I said that I play guitar, and that's one way that I deal with stress. That shows that I do something apart from dentistry and the sciences, but also I could then link in qualities as a dentist, so manual dexterity, coordination, those types of skills. And so again, despite showing that I have got other factors to my personality and to my character, I'm still linking those back to dentistry. So although I'm mentioning something that isn't dentistry related as such, I'm able to link back the qualities and skills needed for that back to a dental degree. So I'm dealing with both aspects of my personal statement at the same time. Next is tip number 5, and this is very, very basic, that you want to make sure that you have the right structure and you check your spelling and grammar. The last thing that you want when you hand in your personal statement is to have spelling mistakes on there or issues with your grammar. I know from my experience of conducting these interviews that immediately, as soon as we see a personal statement that has spelling mistakes that are really obvious, that immediately loses points for that candidate. Make sure you check and check again, ensuring that there aren't any spelling mistakes or grammar issues. With regards to the structure, there's a very common layout that can be followed. Obviously, feel free to deviate, but you want a good introduction. You want information on your work experience in relation to dentistry. Then you want to follow this up with your extracurricular activities and the other things that you do. And then finally, a really strong conclusion to sum everything up and sum you up as an individual. Tip number 6 is to start early. Although the deadline for your application is mid-October, you have plenty of time beforehand to start working on your personal statement. The last thing you want to do is work on it the week before, and it'll have issues with spelling, you won't have the right content, getting feedback from other people will become difficult. And so you're then ultimately going to hand in a personal statement that isn't of a good quality. Make sure you start months in advance, because you're going to go through 6, 7, 8 drafts of this to make sure that it's the absolute ideal piece of work that you could hand in. And this leads on to tip number 7, getting feedback. The sooner you start working on your personal statement, the sooner you can start getting feedback from people to see whether what you're writing actually makes sense and whether it's relevant to dentistry. And it's important to get feedback not from just your teachers or people at school, but also people who aren't related to dentistry or to education, because they may pick up other things that you may not notice, such as the spelling and grammar. Hand it to family, hand it to friends, anyone else that you can find, because the more feedback you get, the better. Obviously, you don't have to take all the feedback on board, but it gives you different views and opinions on your personal statement to try and enhance it further. Tip number 8 is don't lie. It's the last thing that you want to do on your personal statement. Firstly, because why would you want to start the journey of your dentistry career based on lies? But also, when it comes to your interview, should you get picked for interview, you then maybe get asked questions on things you've said on your personal statement, and if you've lied, that's probably going to be found out, and it does not reflect well on you as a candidate. And finally, tip number 9, don't copy. Now, in the process of getting feedback from other people, you may send your personal statement to people doing a dental degree or people who have done dentistry already. They may send you their personal statement to look at. Make sure you don't copy and paste. It is so obvious if someone has copied and pasted. Firstly, these personal statements usually go through plagiarism software, and so you'll be picked up straight away, and that may be the end of your application. But also, again, you may copy something and not realise that there are potential lies in there that do not apply to yourself. So it's just something not worth doing, and especially because it may jeopardise your entire application, just don't go down that route. So there we've looked at 9 key tips to get the most out of your personal statement. So make sure you start early and you gradually build the information and the feedback into your personal statement so you can get the best bit of work at the end of it. I hope you found those 9 tips useful. If you do want any advice regarding your personal statements, make sure to contact me either on here or on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll be happy to help anyone who needs it. Until the next video, take care.